Welcome to the Black Gay History channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. Now, black gay men are notorious for being amazing fashion stylists and designers. The hottest stylist in Hollywood right now is black gay icon La Roche, and I mentioned numerous black gay fashion designers on the channel who are in their bag. But I'm actually surprised we don't know more about black gay fashion models, because we are a pretty bunch who love a catwalk. But there has been several black, gay, bi, and queer models who have made it in fashion. So if you're curious about the black gay fashion models who've popped off in international fashion and pop culture, here's just a quick list of 5 black gay supermodels. Reese King. Reese King is a bi, British, Caribbean fashion model who has worked in fashion for nearly 10 years. In 2018, he came out in many fashion publications while his working in fashion and media was in the limelight. Reese King signed to Supermodel Management and started modeling and campaigning for well-known fashion brands like Calvin Klein, Jean Paul Gaultier, Givenchy, and Saint Laurent. And when many people began to speculate about his personal life, he shared his bisexuality on social media and several media outlets. The Black British model has covered popular fashion magazines like Attitude and Paper Magazine and has been featured in British GQ, the epitome of fashion for male models, especially men from the UK. King comes from Irish and Afro-Caribbean descent and has closely collaborated with another British Caribbean LGBT supermodel, trans icon Monroe Bergdorf. In 2023, he did a detailed sit-down interview with GQ magazine talking about his work in fashion, as well as his moving toward working in human rights and activism. Keenan Lonsdale. Keenan Lonsdale is a gay Australian actor, singer, and model who has made an incredible balance between his many talents, appearing in popular TV shows and movies, modeling for the hottest fashion brands, and putting out heartfelt music. Since his teen years, Lonsdale has been modeling for major fashion brands and even got to strut his stuff at the Met Gala in 2019. He made his runway debut modeling for Louis Vuitton at Paris Fashion Week in 2019. And since then, he's modeled in the most popular fashion magazines like Vogue, Paper Magazine, Billboard, and British GQ. In the acting world, the Nigerian-Australian talent came to prominence in film when he would play Bram, the love interest in the popular coming-of-age teen romance Love, Simon in 2018. But many more comic geeks like myself became familiar with the young actor after he played Wally West or Kid Flash in the popular CW series, The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow from 2013. He's also acted in several action and sci-fi movies like the Divergent series, Insurgent, and dramatic roles like the Step Up TV series in 2022 and the crime drama Swiss Street in 2024. Aweng Chol. Aweng Chol is an out gay model of South Sudanese descent who grew up in Kenya and Australia after her family had to flee the wars in South Sudan. According to Wikipedia, she was discovered when she was 18 years old, working at McDonald's in Sydney, Australia, and it's been history ever since. I've watched a few of her struts down the runway on YouTube, and she has a fierce walk. She was a prominent model in Rihanna's debut Savage Fenty lingerie fashion show, which was said by many fashion heads to mark a huge shift in the way lingerie is sold. Another iconic pop culture moment Chol was a part of was Beyoncé's African music video anthology, Black is King, in 2020. Brown Skin Girl was a song that celebrated Black women's features in a world that is very colorist, and Aweng Chol was one of the highlighted models who got to shine beside stars like Beyoncé, Naomi Campbell, and Kelly Rowland. That same year, Chol and her then wife made fashion history, being the cover models for Elle Magazine UK, celebrating their love for one another. She's also covered the hottest magazines around the world, including many Vogue international covers, like Vogue Brazil in 2023, Vogue Czech Republic, and Slovakia in March 23, and Vogue Thailand in 2022. Sean Ross. Sean Ross is a gay model, actor, and musician who's the first international male model with albinism. Ross has been a staple in pop culture for over 10 years, making a name for himself in the fashion world and pop culture, while bringing awareness to issues like growing up as a gay teen and being bullied for having albinism in school. Ross has worked with some of the hottest fashion brands and pop stars, covered countless fashion magazines, and worked with the hottest fashion brands like Vogue, Givenchy, and Alexander McQueen. He's also worked closely as a model, actor, and creative director for major pop stars like Beyonce, Lana Del Rey, Katy Perry, Charlie XCX, and Lizzo, just to name a few. He happens to be in some of my most favorite music videos of the 2010s as well, like Beyonce's Pretty Hurts, Katy Perry's Alien, and Lana Del Rey's short film Tropico. Besides his work in music and fashion, he's also a fixture and legend in the house and ball scene, where he judges at balls internationally and works closely with the legendary House of Extravaganza. Sterling St. Jacques. Sterling St. Jacques was an accomplished fashion model, pop singer, actor, and all-around Renaissance man who is considered by many to be the very first internationally recognized male supermodel. The 6'2" model worked for popular fashion brands throughout the 1970s and 80s, and was also known to be a popular socialite and entertainer with high-profile love interests. Jacques would cover many popular magazines of the time like Playmen, and walked in fashion shows for brands like Halston and Givenchy, and another black gay icon mentioned on the channel, Willie Smith. It was rumored that for a time, Givenchy and Sterling St. Jacques were in a relationship and were living together in Givenchy's Swiss castle. Sterling St. Jacques was also a popular face at the iconic gay-owned 70s dance club Studio 54, and though he briefly dated actress Pat Cleveland, it was much more likely that he had a close friendship, or more likely, a relationship with the closeted gay actor Raymond St. Jacques, who he lived with for years and took his last name. In the early 1980s, Sterling St. Jacques would cross over from fashion into music, using his beautiful tenor voice to make feel-good dance tracks that went over very well in Europe, particularly Italy. I was pleased to hear several pleasing tracks from the singer released in the early 80s, including Blue, Again, Coming Into Love, and Mr. Moonlight. I also think his 1980 track, Muscle Man, is pretty homoerotic, and can't help but wonder if St. Jacques was pushing the queer envelope with his music, at a time when gay men wouldn't really be accepted or marketed in the music industry.